Hi, I'm Azduel, and I'm going to talk about one of the classes that I really care about a lot, which is the Rogue, and some of the new changes that it is getting when Season of Discovery comes out. I'm going to do that by watching a video by MetaGoblin and adding some of my own information and reacting to what he has to say. Alright, so let's get started.
Season of Discovery isn't just vanilla classes with a little bit more spice, but they're being totally redesigned from the ground up with a heavy...
It is exciting because the classes are getting a whole bunch of stuff added to them, but I don't know if I would say that they're actually being totally redesigned from the ground up, because they have said that the original talent trees and the skills are staying exactly as they are for now. That's not being changed. What is being changed is the new abilities, the new runes that are being added will change the way you play and what you pick. So in a way, this is true, but not specifically true. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump to the section about Rogue, and I'm going to see what he has to say and just kind of comment on that.
Rogue runes will focus on making poisons more viable, but only in theory for Horde, because, as you know, they would have to change how Wind Fury works and how it interacts with weapons. We're adding some iconic Rogue toolkit abilities that always felt missing from vanilla,
which
while
is
also
exciting.
Strangely making the concept of a Rogue tank viable.
This is something that's really weird to me, a rogue tank. At first, I really didn't like the idea of that, but when you think about how the difficulty of forming a group for a dungeon or a raid or whatever always comes down to, can you find a tank? Rogue is a pretty popular class, so if they can tank, maybe it'll reduce waiting, and it'll just be kind of funny or interesting to see. But it's one of the things that I'm skeptical about, but we'll see how it plays out.
This is made possible by the rune Just a Flesh Wound. It turns Blade Flurry into a defensive cooldown and turns Feint into a taunt.
So basically you're going to get a taunt, which is tease. So instead of fainting, you can tease people, and it looks like here it just reduces the physical damage done to you and reduces the chance for you to be critically hit. So basically your ability to tank as a rogue is going to come from this ability here.
You also get a finishing move called Blade Dance that increases parry chance to a maximum of 10%.
So that again will be related to tanking.
Weirdly, Main Gauche or Gooch. Sounds a bit strange, sounds a bit rude to be honest, but anyway.
Okay, so this ability here, Main Gauche. Gauche is French for left, which I think means that it's actually main left or main offhand, and you can see here in the description here it says that instantly strike with your offhand. So main gauche being the offhand, being the left hand, because I think it's something like 90% of the population is right-handed. So for 90% of people, your left hand is your offhand, and in World of Warcraft characters, every single one of them is right-handed, none of them are left-handed. So what this ability is just an offhand ability. So you strike with an offhand weapon and increase your chance to parry. So basically main gauche is just using your offhand kind of weapon as a kind of shield, because what it does is it increases your chance to parry after you use this. So that's what main gauche is. It is a weird word, that, and especially that they chose French, but I don't think it's actually rude. It's just kind of weird.
And essentially does the same. So that's a constant 20% constant parry chance in theory. Slaughter from the Shadows makes backstab and ambush.
Okay, so there's quite a few abilities that rogues have to tank, so it looks like they might actually be pretty decent tanks with all of these three abilities, which is pretty interesting, so we'll see how that pans out.
Which cost 20 less energy, and they've also added some iconic ranged abilities from the Outlaw Rogue spec on retail, like Quick Draw.
So I've never played the Outlaw Rogue spec. I kind of went up to and stopped around. I didn't really get into Cataclysm. I didn't really play very much. I played that and Mists of Pandaria just a little bit, but really after Wrath of the Lich King I stopped playing. So I don't know a lot about that type of rogue, but I heard it's pretty popular, so that could be a good thing.
Draw, which is similar to Concussive Shot, and Between the Eyes that buffs attack power and causes a stun. We've also got some other classic stuff like Deadly Brew and
That's
Venom,
good.
Saber
Exciting.
Slash, Mutilate,
yeah.
and Starstrike.
I'm pretty happy that Mutilate is coming back. I kind of like that one. I remember using that in TBC, I think, so that was pretty exciting. I'm not so sure about Shadow Strike. I feel like when that ability came out and you teleport behind your target and strike them. That's when rogues became kind of gimmicky and a little bit silly, in my opinion. I kind of liked it when you had to move them yourself, so I'm not a huge fan that Shadow Strike is coming out, but we'll see. It could be all right.
Has also been added. Shiv has also been data mined.
So those are the abilities that we know of, and some that he's mentioned here. MetaGoblin has been data mined, so those like Mutilate, some of the old ones that from other things coming to Classic is going to be kind of neat. Quite a few tanking abilities, so it seems like they're actually potentially going to be quite strong tanks, so we'll see how that pans out here. So this video, I've only commented on the Rogue part because Rogue is one of my favorite classes, and I think that MetaGoblin here did a good job of explaining the basics of the new runes that are coming out. So be sure to watch his entire video. I'll put the link in the description because he talks about every class, and there's a lot of good information here. So thank you to MetaGoblin, and I'm Azduel. Thanks for watching.